Up is The Family. The Family is one of the best conspiracy documentaries on Netflix. A documentary series about the conspiracy surrounding the Fellowship, a conservative Christian group led by Doug Coe, which set out to turn American politics down the path of fundamentalist evangelicalism through the back doors of Washington, D.C. What makes this film truly fascinating is its swift reveal of how normal the Fellowship appeared at face value. Their fundamental beliefs were not all that strange on the surface. Their threat lay in their desire to affect political and financial powers within the United States government. In this case, the conspiracy theory is quite real, and that's what makes this film so chilling. Next up is Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. Bob Lazar is a well-known figure in the world of UFO conspiracies, a former scientist who once worked inside the infamous Area 51 compound. His work allegedly involved the use of alien technology to enhance military capabilities, mostly by means of reverse engineering. Interestingly, some of his claims have in fact been proved. For instance, the government's creation of the so-called isotope 151. He is an engaging figure, one you can quickly grow to like even if the premise of his work seems far-fetched. Our number 3 is Behind the Curve. Behind the Curve seeks to examine the minds of flat earthers, those who believe the planet Earth is flat. Documentaries tackling this subject range in their approach. This one in particular is very tongue-in-cheek. It is a frustrating watch, as the conspiracy theorists in question refuse to acknowledge the evidence that is stacked against them. After a while, it becomes evident that no amount of science will ever truly change their minds. Untold History of the United States isn't really a conspiracy doc, but rather a look at American history with a specific ideological approach. The film is produced by Oliver Stone, who is known for his contrarian approach to the political issues of our time. The series consists of 12 episodes covering historical events from World War II to the presidency of George W. Bush, with a focus on the pro-war policy of different eras. The documentary is largely critical of its subjects, making for a very thought-provoking watch. At number 5, we have Freedom from Choice. Freedom from Choice explores the role of marketing and advertising in influencing the decisions we make as consumers. The documentary highlights the capitalist, profit-driven nature of America's favorite brands and investigates how companies, organizations, and government agencies use psychological tricks to encourage consumers to engage in certain behaviors. The central message is that freedom from choice doesn't mean that there are no options, but rather that there are very limited and bounded choices. Here we have JFK, the Smoking Gun. The Smoking Gun investigates the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The documentary exposes the theories and controversies surrounding the assassination and reveals how new evidence suggests that a Secret Service agent accidentally killed President Kennedy. The documentary uses ballistic evidence to support this theory and brings to light the incompetence of the Secret Service's handling of the situation. Number 7, The War on Democracy. Directed by John Pilger, this documentary explores the U.S. government's involvement in toppling democratically elected governments in South America. This documentary sheds light on the U.S. government's secret interventions in Latin America. It follows John Pilger, an Australian journalist, as he covers America's alleged involvement in coups d'etats throughout South America. The film provides ample evidence that the U.S. wants to oversee the governance of Latin America to secure the interests of the U.S., even if that means overthrowing a democratically elected leader. The documentary recounts historical events that are still relevant today, highlighting the U.S.'s continued attempts to control economic and political influence in other countries. The Plot Against the President is a 2020 controversial documentary that investigates the claims made by Trump supporters that the FBI and CIA tried to remove President Trump from office through a coup. The documentary follows Congressman Devin Nunes as he investigates the origins of the mysterious Steele dossier and the role played by the deep state in the Russian hoax. The documentary raises several questions about the legitimacy of Mueller's investigation and the extent of the deep state's power over the U.S. government. The Clinton Chronicles is the most talked about documentary of the 1990s. It focuses on the alleged corruption and controversies surrounding the extended Clinton family. The film discusses drug trafficking rings tied to Bill Clinton's governorship in Arkansas and murder theories tied to his presidency. Filmmakers claim that Hillary Clinton's rise to political fame was also part of a larger conspiracy to establish a new world order. While the documentary has been widely criticized for being inaccurate and for using questionable sources, it remains a popular staple among conspiracy theorists. At number 10, we have Monumental Myths. This 2009 documentary explores the historical inaccuracies behind famous monuments in the U.S., including the Lincoln and Jefferson memorials. Monumental Myths is a polemic documentary about American history, particularly the historically famous characters and monuments that populate America. The filmmakers suggest that many of these characters and structures have been fantasified, romanticized, and ultimately misrepresented in history books. The documentary calls for a rewrite of history to be truthful of America's darker past realities. The controversial documentary, The Obama Deception, explores the theory that President Obama was not who he appeared to be, and the real motives behind his presidency. The documentary centers on President Obama's policies, his alleged ulterior motives, and his true affiliations. The film accuses Obama of being part of a larger group of people that aims to undermine American freedoms through a socialist agenda. Although the authenticity of the film's arguments and its accusations is widely questioned, it is still widely viewed by audiences who are more drawn to oppositional views. The Truth About Killer Robots explores the potential dangers of robots and artificial intelligence, including the impact they could have on the economy, as well as their potential to cause physical harm to humans. The Truth About Killer Robots is a BBC documentary that explores the growing use of robots and artificial intelligence around the world. The film examines how robots have the potential to replace human jobs and how they could become autonomous. Next up is Operation Avalanche. This fascinating docudrama explores the theory that the footage of the moon landing was faked by the U.S. government. The 2016 film imagines a group of CIA agents who infiltrate NASA and stage the moon landing themselves. In Operation Avalanche, the filmmakers imagine what it would be like if that entire event was staged. The story is a work of fiction, and it follows two young filmmakers who infiltrate NASA to uncover evidence that the moon landing was a staged event. The film is a thrilling heist movie, wrapped up in a conspiratorial haze. It leaves its audience wondering, what lies behind the secrets of the world's most celebrated scientific achievements? Last but not least, we have The Social Dilemma. This documentary explores the potentially harmful effects of social media on our lives, including its impact on mental health, relationships, and democracy. The show interviews former executives from tech giants like Facebook and Google who reveal the truth about how these platforms are designed to keep users hooked and engaged. This Netflix documentary explores how social media addiction can be exploited to manipulate us. It focuses on how algorithms are pushing conspiracy theories, hate speech, and misinformation, and how social media platforms track our every move. From mainstream media to internet forums, conspiracy theories have been a part of our lives for years. However, with the advent of the internet, the conspiracy theory craze has taken on a new edge. In fact, it's not uncommon to find a new conspiracy theory online every other day. These documentaries provided insight into the other side of the coin and are well worth a watch. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these documentaries will leave you wondering what else might be out there that we don't know about.